right?
Yes.
All right. And this is just a sneak peek. So what else is on the menu for folks to enjoy?
We have so much going on today. We're going to be serving tacos. We have tenders and fries. We have our heritage burger, which is really famous. And we also are going to be featuring some pork sandwiches as well.
Ooh, okay. So this is also on a brioche?
This is on a brioche bun.
Okay.
Correct.
Also, that makes everything better,
bun.
too.
Yes.
And then is there a glaze kind of on top, or?
No, we actually just butter the tops of our buns once we toast them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Right? But my sandwiches at home don't quite look like that.
No, please try this. Please try this.
So what do you think when you look out and you see the lawn? You know it's quiet right now, but that's not going to be the case later today.
We are waiting for chaos, but organized chaos, and hopefully people just having a great time.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So the kitchen will be busy.
We will be very busy.
You also have food trucks coming, you guys, and there's a huge variety when it comes to the food trucks. I heard cotton candy.
Yes, we do
snow
cotton
cones.
candy. Yeah, yes, correct.
Okay.
About 5 different food trucks will be here just to help us with some of the food, and we have some food stations set up all throughout the field as well.
All right, there we go. Are you excited today, ladies? Oh. We'll see who the Cardinals select in the draft, and make sure you get your digital tickets. We'll see you
Oh my gosh, Syleste.
Yes.
Let's say you plan out your dream wedding and you say to yourself, I want to go up to the Red Rock country and have the most beautiful background I could possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
And
No.
suddenly it is interrupted by a rockslide. I don't know if that's like a message from above.
Oh,
What exactly?
No.
But it is one of the stories we're going to be talking about today. The wedding that was interrupted by a rockslide. What we're learning about this whole thing from the Red Rock country. And, you know, everybody, I suppose, has, whether it was their wedding or they attended a wedding where something went wrong. But I don't think I've ever heard about a rockslide interrupting a wedding.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely not. And how many weddings have there been in Sedona, Arizona, and this has not yet happened, or at least we haven't heard about it?
Yeah, that's right. Now, and Sedona has a perfect track record. It happened beyond Sedona. It happened up into the Red Rock country. I think it was actually kind of up by Bryce Canyon, Zion, that
wow,
area.
that far up, yeah.
Ooh, but we're going to tell you exactly what happened on that. So good morning, everybody. Ron and Syleste, we hope you're having a great day.
Yes, good morning and happy Thursday, and thank you for joining us. And good morning, Thomas Favela. Good morning to you, Paul Humphrey, Dave's Camping Adventures.
Oh, Dave is on today.
And he's got a great YouTube channel. You got to check it out. And join us on the chat. If you're watching on TV, just go to YouTube. We'd love to hear from you.
Also today here for the next hour on FTT, come join the chat on YouTube, even if you're watching us on Fox 10. But Arizona is finally going to get a new gas pipeline where we can start relying on gas not from those refineries in California. This, to me, seems to be a really big story, Syleste, because we've been talking about it for years.
We have.
They're shutting them down. There's lawsuits over there. And so now maybe we got a whole new source of gas, and that could be good news. Plus, drive-in movies tonight.
Oh.
What if I told you they were F-R-E-E?
Yes,
What would
Ron.
you say about that?
And celebrate.
We love that.
We're
That
gonna
might be our favorite word.
And we're going to have great weather for a drive-in movie.
Oh,
in the valley. It's
good.
going to be awesome.
Perfect night under the stars.
Yes.
And then Syleste and I make our bold predictions for the NFL draft. Is there any indication that we even know what we're talking about? At least one of us, I think, is probably right on target. The other one is maybe way unpredictable, but we're going to be talking about it this morning. So, Syleste, at least we got through the windy day yesterday. I guess we can talk about what they were having to deal with in Flagstaff.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we talked about it at the top of the show yesterday that right around 9 a.m., it was like 9:02-ish and some seconds, that all the lights went off in and around the Flagstaff area.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people were really upset because, power's now been restored at this hour. But you got to think about it. There have been a lot of times where they've had those power lines go down in the high country, and that has been what started the fire.
So here's my question, and we'll have to pose this when maybe we can get somebody from APS come on. What was different this time? Because we've had windy days in Arizona since Arizona was a state, even before we were a state, for goodness sakes. But was there some specific worry about some of the power lines or what? Anyway, we made it through. The power's back on. We're going to be talking about that. But let's get right into the Rockslide situation. Watch this. Watch closely. Okay, so here is the mountain.
Oh,
and it's
my goodness. Look at the bride's face. She's like,
wow. Look, everybody suddenly stops. Look at the photographer. She looks more shocked than the bride over there. Oh, wait, no, that's not the photographer. That's like the maid of honor.
The maid of honor's off to the right. Her face was like, oh, my goodness, what do we do? And I think they're thinking, do we move? Do we stay? What happens?
Well, when you see an avalanche coming and you don't know if it's going to, if a big portion of the mountains are going to come sliding down.
Yeah.
But I think, they stopped until they could figure. And then the other thing is, look, the guy that's running the camera, Louis V Photography, just happens to pan. So you have, in our business, pan means you're going left or right. Tilt means you're going up or down.
Yes.
And he kind of pans a little to the left to first look at the mountain. And it's like, weirdly, the very moment he's showing it, all of a sudden it happens.
Can we just say the bride looks beautiful, even as she's being like completely surprised by the Rockslide, and she looks totally stunned, and she still looks beautiful as ever.
Right? Yeah, I like how the groom is a little more like, are we about to have to get out of here and get out of here fast? I mean, he's not even looking around. He's like, I'm staring at it. We got to make a call here for the wedding. So here's what happened. So this couple, they went up into southern Utah, and the moment was captured by their wedding photographer. He says the couple were right at that moment of exchanging rings when all of a sudden, you know what I bet it was? I bet they heard it before they saw it. Oh. And that's why he sort of panned left and tilted up to the mountain a little bit to see what was going on back there. And that they were, part of the mountain basically was crumbling. Fortunately, it was far enough away that it wasn't, a huge issue for them. And so he kept filming, and the preacher thought, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, he says that he got to photograph a love that can move mountains.
Oh, wow.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my goodness. Well, congratulations to the happy couple. And I think if this is what happened on their wedding day, maybe it's going to be like, rock star wedding. Rock star marriage.
Oh, good. We could come up with all kinds of lines. A love that moves mountains, a wedding for rock stars.
Yeah, and a rock star marriage. Like maybe this is just this is the beginning of really having an amazing relationship.
You can tell people for years, our wedding was the rockinest wedding you ever saw.
So I know a lot of people, like Ron, you're from the Pacific Northwest. People say that when it rains on your wedding day in Seattle, it's good luck.
Yeah, they do say that.
Yeah, and
funny enough.
And here in Phoenix, I've never heard this before, but we had record heat on our wedding day.
What was that? Right?
June 3rd is our wedding anniversary, and it was supposed to be like at a hotel here in town, in a garden, and it was supposed to be around 103 as the high, and it turned out to be record heat 112. Ooh. And so we had water stations and had to adjust. It was only 65 people. We kept it very low, very small. Sure. But I asked all of you, yes, you're right, AZ Raider, rain is supposed to be good luck, but he goes, what about an avalanche? If you have any crazy stories, we'd love to hear about them, by the way.
That's a great idea. Join the chat. Tell us about your wedding. Was everything perfect?
Yeah.
Or were there a couple of moments where you're like, oh, this was not planned?
What's going on?
All right, let's talk about Flagstaff, because still to this moment, we are kind of reliving what happened not 24, but 25 hours ago.
We got 5 seasons out here. We got winter, spring, summer, fall, wind, and wind's always part of it. And so the fact that they're shutting down now is pretty ridiculous. It feels like it's the first, but it doesn't seem like it's the last. If they're just going to panic shut down, that sucks. And so we're going to have to figure it out.
So, how about that? By the way, love the interview with random guy at a bar. We call him man on the street, Celeste.
Yeah, we do.
I think from now on, when we need people's opinions, we just go to the local bar and
absolutely.
see who's sitting at the bar, belly right up next to them, and ask their opinion.
Well, and if they've had a couple libations, usually the conversation is a little bit more lively.
It could have actually, that probably was the bar owner.
Yes, I think you're right.
But holy cow, man. I mean, it was, by the time they added it up, there were more than 6,000 people that had to go without electricity. They finally turned the power back on. They said it could go from 12 to 24 hours. It actually went 10 hours from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. But it is raising a lot of questions when you're dependent on one power company. It's not like you can call up a different power company and say, hey, you give me the power.
Yeah, no.
You're dependent on them. They make a decision like that. I think we should probably go back to all of those stores and find out, did their meat spoil? Did their produce spoil?
How's the dairy? One thing I will say, I think we had the story with the gentleman you just heard. He's the bar owner, and I think he had to head out and grab a $15,000 generator. And so he had to spend some big time money yesterday.
Now that's something we're talking about, because apparently APS has set it up where people, if they go out and buy ice, dry ice or whatever, they can get reimbursed. What about if you had to go out and get a generator?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's big time stuff, because maybe like for some places you can close your doors, but not all places can shut down for the day.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Hey, the other thing that I think is totally fascinating, Celeste, because we have talked about for years how we're so dependent on those refineries in California, and that's part of the reason our prices are so high. There's no higher gas prices, I don't think, anywhere in the USA than California except for Hawaii. And so they put that gas in the pipeline. It comes out here.
Yeah.
It comes from those refineries. And now there's talk about a whole new pipeline going to be built specifically for us in the valley. And here's what we've learned. Phillips 66 and a pipeline company called Kinder Morgan just announced the Western Gateway Project. And it's going to directly connect the refineries in the Texas Gulf region to the valley.
Oh.
And so the goal is to prevent supply shortages and price spikes, because these West Coast refineries, they keep closing down. The pipeline looks like it'll be in service and ready to go in 3 years' time.
Wow.
So, people have looked at it for a long time and said, could we get a refinery here in Arizona? Maybe that's never going to happen. But at least if we know we've got another dedicated supply line coming in, I think that's probably pretty good news.
I think so, too, because then it gives us an opportunity to pull our gasoline, the oil, from a different source. And hopefully we avoid some of these high prices, because around the nation right now, the nationwide average is $4.04 a gallon.
Right.
Here in Arizona, it's $4.76. I filled up last night. I did get it at $3.89. I used my grocery points.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you can find it cheaper in some other places, but if we can, get closer to $4 a gallon, like
Get
the
it back
national
under
average,
$4.
yeah.
No, whatever
Jeez.
it takes. All right.
Crazy.
So here's what's coming up next on FTT. That's what we call it, FTT, Fox 10 Talks. Are we crazy? Or do we know what we're talking about? We are both going to tell you what the Cardinals are going to do in the draft tonight.
Yes.
And one of us is going to be wrong, and one of us is probably going to be... man. We're doing everything we can to help you guys with the mystery cam. Because don't guess now. But now the way we do it is we give you a preview early on. Then we let you guess at 10:30, and you can look at that and stare at it and try to noodle it around.
Absolutely. Okay, we've been talking about a lot of topics. Ron, let me just read off a couple of comments we have in here. Sure. Travis, the Lyft driver, says Costco in Gilbert, Arizona, on Arizona Avenue, has regular fuel for $3.49. That's a great deal.
That's like
by the way.
$1 less than the going
rate. Yeah. And then here's a quick note here from AZ Raider. We got married at the Cedars that used to be on Northern and 16th Street.
We're talking wedding stories.
Yeah, this is in Phoenix. Okay. He says it was July 2nd and the AC went out for about an hour or so not cool at all, literally.
Right.
So some of the crazy wedding stories, we were talking about the Rockslide with that wedding. So if you have any of those in there or great ideas on where to find some good gasoline, doesn't have to be in Arizona because we've got viewers all over the world.
Yeah, we do.
Let us know where.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an image coming in for you now from Cardinals Stadium. And I got a feeling, Syleste, all those parking lots are going to be packed in a few more hours because if you're a Cardinal fan, I think you can be really excited about tonight's draft. There's going to be a big draft party. They're going to open it up around 4 this afternoon.
Yes, they are. It's going to be, you're going to have a kids zone out there. They're going to have a ton of food. You'll have to purchase the food, but the tickets to get in at the Great Lawn and Park, it's all free. So it's going to be a great time. 5 p.m. is when the draft begins.
And there's a chance you might have a celebrity sighting because guess who's going to be out there? This man.
Richard.
Right? You might actually get a chance to rub elbows with the man himself.
Wow, what an afternoon it will be.
Yeah, we're excited. It's going to be a great This is always a great day. I'm like a kid before Christmas waiting for the draft because, everyone gets to play GM and say, oh, this is what my team should do. This is what the Cardinals should do. Cardinals have the 3rd pick, top 5 pick, so they have plenty of options. So a lot of people are excited to see what the Cardinals do when they're on the clock with the 3rd pick overall.
All right, Richard, we're really excited to show you each of our predictions, and they are wildly different.
Yes.
I'm going to pop them both onto the screen. We can explain our thinking, and then you can give us your feedback on whether you think our bold takes are, are possibly going to work out. Ready? So let's go to the first one here. Here comes my prediction. Ron predicts that the card.
I love this photo.
What are you laughing about, Celeste?
It's the best.
Come on. I think. Oh, look! Oh, I didn't even realize I'm not only wearing a Cardinal shirt. I got one of those little Cardinal helmets that you can buy. The little mini helmets. Anyway, my prediction, Richard, is that the Cardinals are going to trade down. Number 3 pick is too valuable. You could get, I don't know, couple picks off of a number 3 if somebody really wants to trade up. I predict they're going to trade down and bolster their quarterback room. Everybody knows Fernando Mendoza is going to go first. But then after that, it's like slim pickings for a while for QB. I think you could drop all the way down into the late 20s or as late as the last pick of the first round and get a quarterback so that not only do you've got Jacoby Brissett, but you've got a promising guy for the future.
Yeah, so true.
All right. Here we go with Celeste's now. I love how Richard is holding his fire.
I know he is.
And rather than just calling me a nut job.
All right, ready? Gosh, look at this shot.
Look at you, Celeste.
So I predict that the Cards take offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa. He plays with the University of Miami.
Oh, and Miami was really good this year. Thanks to him especially.
Yeah, they were the championship.
Yeah, I mean, that offensive line, they were like the real deal.
So I think that's who they could potentially take. Although, Richard, people in the chat, they're like fighting over Fernando Mendoza right now. I mean, Sherry Wolf, she says Fernando is going first. No way he'll still be around for the 3rd pick.
True.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sherry.
Right. Is that okay? So let's talk all about that, Richard. Let's talk about, is there any chance that Mendoza's not going number 1 overall to the Raiders? And then why don't you give us your take on Celeste's thinking and my thinking on what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think Fernando Mendoza, also known as Heisman Mendoza, right? That's a great nickname since he won the Heisman. He's going to go number one. That should be a no-brainer for the Raiders. But you never know, right? That's what makes the draft so interesting. You see all these mock drafts, and these people work on these things for months, maybe a year, and they still don't get it right. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I say Mendoza goes first. I agree with Sherry. Now, when it comes to you guys, and first of all, Syleste wins the picture contest.
Oh, thank you.
The hand on the hip. I mean, that lady means business right there.
Richard, look, if I post a picture of just myself standing there like that, I'd get maybe 42 likes. Syleste would get 1,200 likes.
Yeah, Syleste is the number one draft choice when it comes to the picture contest.
I guess if I don't know anything about football, at least I know how to put my hand on my hip and pop it.
Yeah, you got to pop that hip. You got to pop that hip. You look confident, and that's style points right there. But you know what, Ron? I agree with you. I think the Cardinals are going to trade down for the simple fact that each pick. Monty Ossenfort, the GM of the Arizona Cardinals, says each draft pick is like a lottery ticket. You have a chance to hit the lottery, right? To hit the jackpot. So the more tickets you have, the better it is. So if they can trade down and get some more picks because they have so many different needs, then I think they're going to try to do that. I don't know if they'll get a quarterback, though, in the first round. It may be in the later rounds, maybe not even at all, because next year is when they're going to have a bunch of good quarterbacks come out. And I think a lot of guys, a lot of teams, a lot of GMs are waiting till next year to get a quarterback. So Ty Simpson is a guy that's been connected to the Cardinals, but they say he's not a first-round talent. If the Cardinals can get him later, maybe. But also, if you trade down, right, which was what the Cardinals probably want to do, what GM Monty Ossenfort has done before, that's his MO, you need a partner. Need somebody that wants to trade up.
Yeah.
And with next year's draft being so rich with quarterbacks, I don't know if anybody's willing to give up a draft pick next year for a pick this year. So it's going to be interesting because, what they say, it takes two to tango. So, Ron, you're right and you're wrong at the same time.
That sounds like an argument between a wife and a husband. Honey, you're right, but you're absolutely wrong as well.
So let me ask you for the wrong reason.
Yes. So we're showing the top 16 teams in round one right now that you see. So hypothetically, then Fernando Mendoza automatically goes to the Raiders. I think he's going to, Heisman Mendoza, as you called him, Richard.
Yes. And then you see other teams, that are, and that's the thing. Everybody says, okay, we have our draft board, every team, but it all depends on how the draft falls ahead of you, right? Like if you're the Cardinals at 3, and let's say, just hypothetically, Mendoza doesn't get taken 1 or 2. And then they're at 3. Well, guess what? Our whole trade down strategy's out the window. They're going to take Mendoza, right? So if you're picking 12 and the top 11 picks go differently, then you're like, wow, this guy who we had projected to go 5 is now available. Well, then they're going to take him. And that's one thing, a lot of people are talking about Jordan Tyson, the kid from ASU. Where will he go? He was projected to be a top 10 pick. But, word gets out about his, injury history and the games he missed. And so now they're saying that he could drop, but a lot of times you got to be careful for what you hear, right, before the draft. Because if you're a team, you're not going to really tip your hand and say, oh, we're picking this guy for sure. You might do the complete opposite and say, well, we really like this guy. And then they throw people off the scent. Or say, we don't like Jordan Tyson because he's injured because they don't want anybody to pick him. And then they end up picking him. So, but if Jordan Tyson drops, I think that might be even better for him because that means he's going to go to a better team.
That's so true.
Imagine if Jordan Tyson went to the Kansas City Chiefs and was catching passes from Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my gosh.
Or if, God forbid, he drops to 21 and the Steelers are on the clock hosting the draft. Hines Ward, wide receiver coach,
so
is
true.
A Steeler legend.
Hines Ward is his coach. Yes.
So that's the drama of the NFL draft.
Richard.
Yeah.
So
hold on, you weren't on camera there. Repeat that line. That's the what?
That's the drama.
Any of those teams that we just flashed on the screen seem like they could really use a little beefing up in their wide receiver room. And this guy that we've all fallen in love with his game, Jordan Tyson, being a big ASU Sun Devil superstar, where could you possibly see him going?
Yeah, well, some people say the Browns. They could always use some help. And then his brother, Jordan Tyson's brother, plays for the Cavaliers, so that would be kind of cool. Ooh. But I would feel bad if you went to the Browns, because I don't know how many wide receivers go to the Browns and end up having great careers. Yeah. So that might be career suicide. So that's why I'm kind of praying that he drops. I mean, the Chiefs could use a wide receiver. They always try to get weapons for and the Steelers, but I really don't think he will drop all the way to 21. So that's the thing is whoever gets him, they're going to get a great kid, a kid that works hard, a kid you don't have to worry about off the field, a kid that's going to, do all the right things in the locker room, out in the community. So I can't wait to see what the Giants, they could use a wide receiver. Oh, by the way, the Giants had success drafting a guy from ASU.
Yes, they did.
You don't think he's talking to the Giants saying, you got to get my boy.
Thank you.
I vouch for him. So
yes.
There's a lot of intel that goes into these type of decisions.
One of the comments we have in the chat by Paul Humphrey, he says, number one picks that are a huge bust, just trade down. It reminds me of, think of the guys that went late, Tom Brady, Brock Purdy.
6th round.
They go late, and then they end up being big time players in the league. Is there a diamond in the rough, you think, Richard? Who have you seen that maybe is not getting a lot of love right now, but could potentially be a huge player?
Possibly from ASU or U of A.
Maybe.
Yeah, and what's great is you have more than just a hand on the hip. Celeste, you got some knowledge. That's pretty impressive. Brother. You're right, because Tom Brady was 199th. There it is. That's the picture right there. Oh, that lady means business. You want her in your draft room. You want that lady right there.
Hey, we got about 30 seconds left. What's your plan for your coverage tonight on Fox 10?
Well, I'm going to be talking to you guys. I'll be, after this, I'm going to try to go to the Cardinals facility. If you guys want to talk again in the 11 o'clock hour, I'll do that. Go to the station, and then we'll do some live streaming between 4:30 and 5. We'll have Blake Neiman live in Pittsburgh later tonight. We have Robbie Baker at the draft party, Brad Gass at the draft headquarters. It's full court press, right? We got this thing covered, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So great.
Oh my goodness, Richard. We've got it covered here at Fox 10. Nice work,
Thank
Richard.
You, buddy. Because
that's how we do.
That's
Celeste,
how we do.
We're all here. Get ready for this.
These
we're
are my
here
PJs.
for the
I slept in this. That's how excited I was.
The drama. You are the best, buddy. You're going to be busy.
Football league draft.
Talk to you again soon. Time now for the Mystery Cam. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Ron and Celeste hanging out with you for a full hour on Fox 10 Talks. And, you know, we're getting some guesses.
Yeah,
Celeste, what are you seeing?
It is a windy day on our mystery cam.
Yeah, it is.
Paul Humphreys says upstate New York. He says way upstate, like almost to Canada, I guess.
Ooh.
We have Iowa from Rob Hernandez. Rob, are you new to the chat, buddy? Welcome if you are. Linda Monter says Illinois or Missouri, so one of those states. What are you thinking, Ron?
Illinois or Missouri, I can see either one of those. I do believe, Celeste, the windstorm that we had yesterday has been now moving across the country.
Okay.
And I think that being in the nation's midsection probably makes a lot of sense. So, and I don't know if that's the Mississippi or what river it is, but I'm going to go ahead and say Missouri.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to go.
Say Missouri?
Yeah, I threw it in there already before you said. I said Missouri for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Linda Monterth. Here is your mystery camera.
Okay.
And it is Illinois, Grafton, Illinois.
Shoot, we
were
so
close. I know. Louis Gonzalez got it, though. He says Illinois.
Way to go, Louis.
Way to go, Louis.
All right. So the thing about our show that makes it so different, we were just chatting about this with a bunch of people yesterday, is we can be totally interactive with you guys.
Yeah.
And at the same time, do the show, but stop and talk about some of your comments. So, Celeste, this remark that we got just during the break is so interesting to me. Mm-hmm. This is J. Felice Flores, 4686. And he says, Ron, I work for Turner Industrial at the Exxon refinery in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh.
We produce our own jet fuel and diesel fuel for a fuel changes. If it does, like what you were talking about earlier, he says that would be a really good thing for Arizona.
Yeah, he added at the very end, fuel tanks in Arizona. Let's go, Ron. That's a good thing, AZ.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is fantastic, Jay Felice, because we, if you want us to call you like by your first name or whatever, let us know. But we can be so interactive about it. When you are producing, when the oil comes in, I guess it would be coming in off of some of those rigs that they have out in the Gulf.
Yes.
And then you put it in as into the refineries. Does one refinery produce the jet fuel? Another refinery produce the diesel? Another produce the gas for cars? Here's why I ask. The jet fuel thing looks like it could be a huge pinch point for the world's economy. They keep saying they're running out of jet fuel in Europe.
Yeah, they said
close to it.
Well, they're going to limit their flights, right? Lufthansa just released this morning that they're going to limit the flights over summer because of the jet fuel prices. Yeah. You know, here in America, we've seen the prices for flights increase.
United said they're going to jack them up by 20%.
That's right.
Around that
because of the jet fuel prices. So I think we do need some type of regulator.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to set up an interview with you,
Jay Felice,
because you are the expert, and we love that you're getting a couple of minutes to hang out with us today. All right, so let's talk about some of the big developments, Celeste, when it comes to what's been happening in the Gulf. President came out today and ordered that think about all the combined assets we have. I'm sure we've got drones or satellites in the sky that are monitoring very closely what's going on in the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. And if Iran, their navy's wiped out, but if they take little boats, they still have little boats.
Yeah.
And they go out there and try to start laying mines, to try to ratchet up whatever they want to try to get accomplished. The president's like, we will obliterate you right out of the sky if you try to lay any more mines there in the Gulf.
Yeah.
So, Iranian state media, by the way, showed some images. Oh, I think we have that. We'll show it to you in just a moment, of when they boarded one of these tankers. But at the same time, the president came out earlier today and said, the U.S. is not going to put up with that anymore.
No.
We have so many assets in that area that we can observe the Iranians. Don't try it, or you could end up, I think, Celeste, like one of these Venezuelan drug boats.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so here is exactly what was getting said when it comes to all of that.
Iran has gone from having the most lethal navy in the Middle East to now acting like a bunch of pirates.
Everything Trump did with this war has made things worse.
And here's the video. Now, look, they don't have a free press over there. They don't have a free media. Everything's totally controlled by the government. But they did release this video of Iranian forces. Look at that guy. Why does he have a mask on like he's a terrorist?
That was one of the reports. It said that these Iranian state media were showing these armed and masked men that were boarding a ship in the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
And so, trying, I guess, to, disguise their identity in some way. But, pretty frightening stuff.
Okay, so, we're watching to see what's going on. The price of oil has not been going up a lot in the U.S. Last I looked, it was up about 90 cents a barrel. Mm-hmm. But the international price for oil, what they call Brent crude, is back up to, I think, about $105 a barrel. I can check on it real quick, Celeste, because let's face it, everybody's paying attention to what's going on over there.
Well, and I think everybody's watching specifically because it has a direct effect on what we pay here in the United States. And if you think about fuel prices, it doesn't just affect, us because we're driving down the street. The everything at the grocery store could go up in price because if it's shipped on a big rig, they've got to pay more for fuel.
Yeah, and I think you're making a really good point here because, wow, all of a sudden there was a little bit of green going on a couple hours ago, and then boom, it looks like it's a couple of things going on. The stock of software companies are really getting battered because it looks like AI could replace a lot of our software needs.
Yeah.
That's number one. So there may be some headline there. And the other thing is oil has actually gone up. When I looked first this morning, it was up 90 cents. It's now up $3. So now they're looking at $96 instead of where we were at about $94. And that has a tendency to kind of move the market lower too. So then the question becomes, what about a bailout for Spirit Airlines? Spirit Airlines and a possible bailout? Well, take a listen.
Typically does not bode well for the overall prices. It means less competition. They're going to be focused on their creditors, trying to, give back as much money as they can there. Consumers, unfortunately, fall towards the bottom end of the priority chain in a liquidation event.
So here's the weird thing. Out in the West Valley, Spirit doesn't even fly into the valley anymore. They cut back on flights here. But you can see dozens of their planes sitting at an airport out there in the West Valley because that's where these airlines park their planes.
Look at that.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, Celeste. 14,000 jobs are on the line. So if they go belly up, that's 14,000 jobs.
Oh.
And you hate to even think about something like that. But let's go to our poll question, because the other thing is, $500 million in this environment to do a big bailout? I don't know. Here's what it's looking like. Look at this. Right now, no one is saying yes. Losing another airline will mean the rest of them are going to raise prices. These guys are, I think in a lot of markets, they're helping to keep the price down because they have such a low price.
Yes.
69% say no. Can't make it on your own? You're out of business. 31% say only if it's a loan that they have to pay back someday.
Interesting. The numbers on YouTube are quite similar, which is very rare. That's what we're seeing here when it comes to this poll question online. We've got 1.1 thousand votes right now. 500 million bailout to save Spirit, and winning at this hour is no. If they can't make it, they shouldn't be in business. 71% say that, and then only if it's a loan that they have to pay back someday. That's coming in at 24% right now.
Let's do this. Let's go to Bella on the Dave cam. Oh, hold on. Bella's running around like crazy.
Hey, Bells.
She's also, Dave's off today, and not to mention, we also have Abby off today.
It's been a busy day for Bells today.
Have you even had a chance to look for comments comments, Bella?
Yes, I have some comments.
Oh, look at you. You were on it.
Love it.
Okay, so there's over 30 comments right now on YouTube, and a lot of them are skewing in favor of no. I'll read a couple. Carla says, I'm sick of bailouts. We don't get bailouts when we can't eat or pay for gas or get to work. Why the boop should banks or airlines get bailed out? That is mismanagement. Lorraine says, Spirit Airlines has a terrible reputation. Why should we bail out a losing company? And Indiana Bones says, normally I would say no, but in this instance, I would say yes.
Oh, okay.
By the way, another great name. Not Indiana Jones, Indiana Bones.
Indiana
we have
Bones.
The greatest YouTube commenters here. Hey, we're really
creative.
Glad that we can bring another guest to you this morning. This is Clara Pratt.
Hi,
who is
Clara.
a
Good
candidate
morning.
for the Corporation Commission. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're
Just
doing great. I'll
Yeah.
bring this mic closer.
Just like it's a big radio show.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So you're running for Corporation Commission. Why are you running?
Well, I'm a small business owner. I'm a mom of two, and like so many people in our state, I'm seeing our utility rates go through the roof. That couples really well with what you all were mentioning earlier about the international issues that are impacting fuel. I've spent the last 8 years working in solar development, and I really feel passionate that we can do better for our consumers to keep prices affordable and our grid reliable.
So you work with, or at least with solar, right? Solar development. Is that the only thing that we can use to really bring more power here? What are some of the other ideas that you have?
Absolutely. I think we have to have an all-of-the-above energy approach, right? We've got an amazing infrastructure in the state. We also have an abundance of wind in addition to solar. There's a lot of renewables that have come down in price, and solar is now one of the most cost-competitive ways to bring energy into a new market. So I think we can use all of the things to make sure that our ratepayers are protected and have reliable and affordable energy.
One of the things that I was really going to look forward to asking you about was what we saw yesterday, where a utility, you have thousands of people that are dependent on that utility to produce the power and deliver it to their home or business. We saw a situation that we do see in other states, but we haven't really seen in Arizona before. But first, we have a break. So think about that. When we come back, I'd like to get your take on that. And then I know Syleste got some other questions, too. Can you stick around?
Absolutely.
Okay. And we'll be right back. Look at that. Alcatraz.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you hear they're thinking about reopening it?
Really? Did you know there are sharks in those waters?
That's what I heard. By the way, in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Clara Pratt, she is a candidate for Corporation Commission in Arizona. We would love to hear from you. How do you, what was your assessment about what happened yesterday in Flagstaff and other areas of northern Arizona, and whether that should or shouldn't happen?
Right. I think when we're looking at our utilities in particular, and the role of the Corporation Commission, one of its primary roles is the utility regulators. They do lots of other things, but this speaks directly to that. We need to make sure our infrastructure is solid. And unfortunately, we have Maricopa County is the fastest growing county in the United States. We know that the demand on energy is only going to get higher. We have to look at innovative ways, whether that's renewables, battery storage, things so that we don't have these types of situations that occur. People really rely on their power.
But would you put stricter measures in place so that there is more of a requirement, I guess you could say, on the part of the utility companies to make sure that their power lines are so far away from anything that could cause a fire? Because there were a lot of people that were asking a lot of questions yesterday in Flag.
Yeah, absolutely. And I live in Flagstaff, so I was, very much impacted in watching what was going on. We do have to make sure that our utilities are keeping our grids safe, right? That includes, is there an issue for potential fire, anything to do with safety? And when we're paying hand over fist, we've seen a lot of utility rate increases in our state over the last couple of years. We need to know where that money is going to, and is it going to infrastructure improvements to address issues just like this?
So with all the wind that we have up in our higher elevations, since you experienced it firsthand, you said you live in Flagstaff, how viable is the idea of wind turbines? We see them in other states. Is that something that we could actually see in the future in Arizona?
Yes, we could see it here in Arizona. There are some facilities that are currently up and running with wind turbines, but they do have to be in an environment that is friendly to that. When we're going out and doing assessments on the environment to whether it can hold solar or wind or what have you, a couple things have to happen. The grades have to be just right from a topography perspective. Wind has to be just right, and you can't have a lot of trees around if you're doing wind turbines.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just about out of time, but before we say goodbye, what would make you, in your opinion, a better candidate than some of the other people that are running for this office?
Absolutely. Well, my passion is for public service and serving the people and looking out for the ratepayer and making sure that we have energy equity across the state. Growing up without utilities, I'm keenly aware of what that life is like.
In the little town of Lupton.
In the little town, beautiful little town of Lupton, yes, where my family still is. But yeah, we need to make sure we have equity across the board for people who need energy. It's no longer a nice to have, it's a must have.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
That's Clara Pratt running for the Corporation Commission.
Thank you, Clara.
Thanks again. Okay, on to a couple of our other stories here before we wrap up. FTT, and I just love this headline here. This is the weirdest traffic jam you are ever going to see.
Oh, my goodness. So this is a video. What the flock is this? This is up in Boise, Idaho. They do have a big community up there of sheep herders.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a community of sheep. They obviously have that, Celeste.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Okay, well, hey. So apparently, once a year, you got to load them up and move them out. And you got to head to higher ground, or I guess you're coming out of the winter. You are heading to higher ground.
Well, do you know, Ron, here's the thing. Up in Boise, they have a large community of folks who, for whatever reason, settled there in Boise, but they're from Spain. They're this little area just between Spain and Italy, and they're all sheep herders. Okay. And so they've taken their culture and moved it to Boise, Idaho.
Which is really pretty darn cool.
It's really cool.
They said there was over 2,000 sheep that, look, I mean, you got to get from lower ground to higher ground, and at one point you got to get down the road. So anyway,
that is hilarious.
It is. It's a kind of an old-fashioned look at the way it probably happened a lot more back in the day. But what a cool video it is. All right, so Celeste, I don't know why people aren't doing it so much anymore. It's take your daughters and sons to work day today.
Oh, I know. I saw that. We didn't even talk about it.
I know.
We didn't even know about it yesterday. But But yeah, it used to be a bigger thing.
Did you ever have a chance to take either your son or either one of your daughters?
I mean, over the course of having a family and everything, my kids have been to here and to other stations that I've worked at. But I don't know if I've ever brought them on a day at work.
Yeah.
But they have sat in, like when I used to work weekends, they would sit in on the studio. On Christmas Day, when I was working here one day, Gary brought all the kids in.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the day, and you were so nice about it all, Syleste, that I brought my little grandson, Everett.
Oh, yeah.
Into the building to see how we do it all at Fox 10, and he had his scripts all set and ready to go.
He did so
and
sweet.
He came walking into the studio.
Oh.
Here's the, if you've never, I've played this a couple times before. This is such a sweet moment. Check it out. Here we are in the great big studio. What do you think, Rhett? It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool for sure.
Are you going to be on the news?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the news.
You're going to be on the news?
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
And then one of my favorite pictures, Syleste, you, me, and Everett making him feel right at home. I don't know when the day will come that he'll take my job, but it'll probably come.
Oh, well, he's got the hairdo and he's all ready to go. What a sweetheart.
Yeah. So if you did it today, or maybe you did it in the past, because it does not get talked about near as much as it did at one time. If you ever took your son or your daughter to work, and they learned a little something about what you do, I think it's super cool. I wish there was more of a push for it, maybe in future years.
And maybe it's time to do it if your kid looks at you and they're like, what do you do all day? You're like, you know what? Why don't you come with me?
Yeah, you'll see. Okay, so anyway, happy National Sons and Daughters to Work Day. The other thing, Syleste, that I thought was kind of interesting is that YouTube is turning 21 today.
Wow.
And when we started this little program of ours, we weren't on YouTube to start.
No, we weren't.
But then we got onto YouTube, and that's when it exploded, and suddenly we have thousands of people that watch some of these episodes that we do every day. Look, we're live on Fox 10. But on YouTube, it lives forever.
Yes.
You can go back later on and look, and we get 1,000 people, 3,000, 5,000 people that will watch any one of these episodes now that we're on YouTube. But here's my question. And I'm looking, I don't know if we have Bella. Yeah, she's running around.
Yeah.
But is there anything else on YouTube that you like to watch, Syleste, besides Fox 10 Talks?
I do a lot of how-tos.
Oh, yeah,
like if I need a how to rethread my sewing machine. That is what.
You wouldn't just go down the hall to Big Gare and ask him how that works?
He'd say, I don't even know what you're talking about. I do a lot of how-tos. I learn a little bit about my car. When I'm changing my air filter, I looked on YouTube to look at how to change my cabin air filter.
Right? Yeah.
Like there's a lot of how-tos, how to care for my orchids at home, or how to refertilize my fiddle leaf fig tree at home. Like a lot of how-tos.
Okay, so you guys in the chat, we know you love Fox 10 Talks, and we love being totally interactive with you. It's like one great big family. We call it the friendliest chat online. Tell us what else you use YouTube for.
Yes.
Besides watching Fox 10 Talks. And I just want to say, Syleste, this is kind of my routine I wake up at like 4 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday morning.
Yeah.
House is very quiet.
Peaceful.
And I put on these videos, because they're all over the place out there, of people walking around cities.
Oh, I've seen that. I follow New York City.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That would be fun. I'm not following them yet.
Yeah. And so if you follow, and it's really, really cool. It gives you an idea around what cities are you following?
It's always London.
Oh.
And there's a guy out there, he's called the Watched Walker. And I put it on. And, if you got a big screen and you're watching it, you almost feel like you're walking around with them in the heart of London.
Yeah. This one is called Walk in the City, kind of like Sex in the City.
Oh, okay.
But Walk in the City. And it's in New York. And on a snowy day, it's like they have their DSLR camera and they're just like walking through, and snow or raining, or if they're at Central Park. It's really, really cool.
Okay, now that would be cool. Let's just see here. We are, for example, here's Dave Camping Adventures.
Yes.
Well, of course, what is he watch?
I know, camping.
Camping videos.
I know. Okay, so let me ask you. Oh, cooking videos. You're right, EH Villain. I'm with you. I do love cooking videos.
Yes.
RLS Vid says, I post videos of live concert performances. Love that. Live music.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you guys in the chat or Ron know the very first video posted on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it a guy at a zoo?
Yes,
what
you
was
are.
It?
San Diego.
Okay.
It was like 18 or 19 seconds.
Yeah.
And this guy was just at the San Diego Zoo, and he's just standing up there in front of the animals.
That's so great.
And that was the very first in April, 21 years ago.
Hey, couple of quick stories before we hand it off to Ty and Anita. It is free movie night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go retro? I know when I was growing up, there was nothing more exciting than hop into the car with a fam and going down to the Viewdale Drive-In Theater in Wenatchee, Washington. And it was a fun way, to watch a movie.
Did they have the speakers on the side, or did you adjust the radio?
No, back in those days, you had to hang the speaker on your window and hope you weren't going to crack it.
I know.
But anyway, so it's annual free movie night tonight at the West Wind Drive-In, 57th Ave and Bethany Home, Zootopia 2, Wicked for Good, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, wow, okay.
Anaconda and The Bad Guys 2. In addition to the free film, you can also enjoy $2 nachos all night long. Gates open at 6. Movies start at 8.
And by the way, Deb says she watches quilting videos.
Oh, that would be super
YouTube.
relaxing.
Yeah.
I would probably fall asleep.
Oh, my.
Hey, one last thing. Did you see these pictures coming in from Michigan? Let's once again be grateful for our beautiful weather. We're going to be in the 80s for the next probably week or so.
What happened here?
Head to May. But this is called an ice flood. And so they had ice. It was cold. And then they had the flooding, and it started to pick up giant chunks of ice and start hitting other houses there in Michigan.
These have to be some of the craziest images. Because what happened here?
Well, so I'm sure what happened was you had that giant block of ice that got picked up by the floodwaters a mile from there, 2 miles. And it crashes right into this poor guy's house. Look at him out there. He's like, thank goodness I got my waders.
Yeah, no kidding. By the way, Louis Gonzalez likes to watch police chases.
Way to go, Louie.
Thank you all for watching us here on FTT here on this Thursday. Have a
be on for.
Good Thursday morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to keep things rolling here on Fox 10 Talks now at 11 o'clock. And we have a really interesting story.
Go for it.
No, you.
Well, I'm not logged in.
Oh, all right. If you have lived here in the Valley, you may have known about this notorious murder, Don Bolles, and we are getting ready to celebrate the 50th anniversary of this. And Jeremy Duda, correct, is a reporter with Axios, a great organization that puts out all sorts of great info. And you have been working on a book. Congratulations, first of all. I mean, that's a huge undertaking.
Not an easy task, yeah.
So for people that don't know anything about Don Bolles, give us a little bit of background on who this individual was and what happened.
Don Bolles was a longtime investigative journalist at the Arizona Republic in the 1960s and 1970s. Really made a big name for himself investigating government corruption, land fraud, mafia infiltration, and the Valley's dog racing scene, which had a lot of kind of shady aspects to it. By the end of his career, he was over at the covering the state capitol, still doing some of his old investigative work as well. And on June 2nd, 1976, he went to the Clarendon Hotel. A source claimed to have information about corruption, land fraud, stuff that definitely kind of designed to pique his interest. He showed up. The source called him in the lobby, let him know the meeting was off. He got into his car to leave, and 6 sticks of dynamite blew up underneath his car.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Pretty unheard of. The video that we're looking at right now is from the scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We pulled this. We looked in the archives and we found all of this old video that we had from the scene.
What made you want to research and write a book about this?
I mean, just as an Arizona native, as a Phoenix native, as an Arizona journalist, there's a lot of reasons why I found this case very fascinating. And I'd read everything really there was to read about that, but there just weren't a lot of books out there. There was some stuff that was written very shortly after the bombing. There was some stuff later on that was really designed to kind of chase down alternative theories, conspiracy theories, and whatnot. So there had never been a comprehensive history of the case, and that it always irritated me that I couldn't read a comprehensive history of the Bolles case. So I decided to write that book myself, and kind of fill in what I thought was a very kind of glaring gap in the historical record.
How did you do the research?
Well, the Attorney General's case file is kind of the heart of it, and that's about 150 bankers' boxes full of documents at the State Library and Archives, which, this case lasted for 17 years. There were got a half dozen or more associated cases that stem from other criminal cases, a civil suit, multiple rounds of murder trials. And so this was a, years-long process going to the state archives, copying these documents, taking pictures of them. You can't actually Xerox them because they're old papers, taking the notes, interviewing people who were involved in the case throughout that nearly 2-decade span, reading old news coverage, stuff like that. It was very exhaustive.
I can't wait to read this. Ty and I are both avid readers, and we both love thrillers and crime, so this is right up our alley. Talk a little bit about the case then as it unfolds. So we see what happened. He's 47 years old, June 13th, walks back to his car and in the parking lot, and it explodes. What happens after? You said this went on for years. The investigation, was anyone arrested? Was there a trial?
Many trials and many arrests. Bolles, he did not die immediately. He survived the initial blast, lived for 11 days, actually. And he told bystanders and medics at the scene, they finally got me. Emprise, the mafia, John Adamson, find him. John Adamson was the man who'd lured him to the Clarendon. The Emprise was a national sports concessions company that was partnered with the local dog racing track owners. And so everything keyed in on John Adamson very quickly, who was a kind of a drunken barfly crook, not really employed at the time, sold stolen stuff, maybe burned down an occasional building for money, stuff like that. He got arrested pretty quickly, pretty much immediately after Bolles died. 11 days later. Wasn't talking for a while. Took him a while. Finally, about 6 months later, he cut a plea deal with the Attorney General's office and said that he'd been hired by a local contractor named Max Dunlap to kill Bolles because of over coverage that he had written about Kemper Marley, who was a land baron, liquor magnate. Wow. He had been nominated to the State Racing Commission by Governor Castro. He got the appointment hit some snags. It was controversial. He ended up getting confirmed and then resigning because of a lot of negative attention, negative publicity, some of which had come from Bolles. And so Adamson also claimed that Jimmy Robeson, a plumber who was an associate of his, had helped him build the bomb, had detonated the bomb. So these two men were charged with murder, convicted, sentenced to death in 1977, sentenced to death. A few years later, the convictions were overturned. Adamson kind of tried to get cute with the Attorney General's office on testifying again. The AG's office kind of got sick of dealing with him and said, fine, we'll cut Dunlap and Robeson loose because we don't trust you as a witness anymore. And charged him, convicted, sentenced him to death. And then in the late 80s, early 89, 90, Robeson and Dunlap were charged with murder. Adamson made a new deal to testify, and they both went back to trial in 1993. Dunlap was convicted. Dunlap was convicted. Robeson was acquitted.
Wow. Is Bolles' family still around the Phoenix area?
Not the Phoenix area. His wife, his widow, and his daughter. He had 4 children from his first marriage, one from his second. His widow and daughter from his second marriage. They live in South Carolina now. His kids from the first marriage. They eventually just kind of got out of the state. They got very, I think, the way that his oldest son put it to me when I spoke with him for this book was they got kind of sick of dealing with the anniversaries, the news coverage, the constant reminders, and they all just kind of collectively decided, hey, we're going to get out of town. We're going to get out of the state.
So, but they talked to you about the book then?
Some of them did. His widow did. His daughter, who was just a little kid when it all happened, did. His oldest son did. Some of the others, they don't like the reminders. They don't like talking about it, which it's, very hard to blame them for that.
When you were doing all of your research, was there anything that you uncovered or discovered that just absolutely shocked you, and you thought, "My goodness, I would never think"?
I think the wildest thing I uncovered that I'm not sure. I don't think it had ever actually been publicly reported anywhere. So there was a mafia hitman in the early 1980s who told a federal grand jury in Illinois and ended up, speaking with authorities here in Arizona and said he and his partner had been given the original contract to kill Bolles, and they came out here from the Chicago area, kind of scouted things out and decided not to take it. Part of the reason was that they were told, hey, this has to be done with the bomb, and these guys are like, we don't do bombs. Why not just shoot the guy? And also, they did not trust that they weren't going to get hung out to dry once it happened. And so, the Attorney General's office kind of chased that down for a while. Nothing really ever came of it. But there are a lot of people who kind of wonder what really happened. Was Adamson telling the truth? Why, even if it was, was Dunlap honest about the reason for killing him? Was Kemper Marley involved? A lot of people, I think, who know his name here in the Valley, know him from the Bolles case and associated him as that's the guy who killed a reporter. I don't believe he actually had anything to do with it, which leaves open the question, was there another reason why Dunlap wanted him killed?
Why did a bomb have to be used?
They didn't really explain that. According to this, mafia hitman who became a federal witness, it wasn't really explained. I think, if you look at, John Adamson, you would look at this and say, okay, this was a very amateurish operation. Adamson was not a guy. He was a crook. He's someone you might, buy stolen suits off of or, pay to burn down a building for insurance money, but not a guy you would typically go to, for a murder. That wasn't really part of his repertoire. He was, and it shows that this was a very amateurish operation. The bomb wasn't even really built right, or at least placed right. Bolles didn't die immediately. Right. Adamson told people, he thought, they're going to come after me because I screwed this up.
Do we have any idea about, because the whole thing just is mind-boggling to me. Did they made that fake phone call, and in the meantime, while he's in the hotel, they planted the bomb underneath the car, in the car. Do you know how they did it?
Underneath the car. According to Adamson, they watched him, pull into the parking lot off of 4th Avenue. Once he went into the building, Adamson went over, the bomb had magnets on it. They put it under the driver's side. Then, he left, went to the Ivanhoe Cocktail Lounge, which was, where Adamson's favorite haunt, where he kind of spent, most of his days. Called from the bar phone, the lobby, said, hey, is there a guy named Don Bolles there? Told him, hey, the guy who's supposed to have the information, got cold feet, meeting's off. Talk to you later. This is I think
so.
That's it.
We don't really know who initially called Bolles for the meeting.
It was Adamson.
It was Adam.
They'd met about a week before at another restaurant to kind of, where Adamson explained, hey, I've got a source who has this information. And the purpose of the meeting was really so Adamson could kind of know what he looked like and, hoping to kind of scout out his car and see if he knew what that looked like.
This is like a movie script or really one of those TV. You can almost take the character of Bolles and go through all the things he's investigated kind of just leading up to this. And you start reading a little bit about his career, and he was here for a long time, investigated a lot. It really could could have been anybody.
Sure, about 14 years.
Yeah.
But like I said, by the time that he had actually, of the bombing, he'd been at the state capitol for a few years, covering, same folks I've covered for most of my career. Not folks you're generally going to look, they might they're going to yell at you and get mad at you sometimes, but you don't have to.
They're not going to take a hit out on you, though.
But for so long, he was dealing with, mobsters, land fraud, stuff like that. And he was always cognizant of the possibility that they could come after him. He would put a piece of Scotch tape on the hood of his car so he could see if someone got under the hood to tamper. The Arizona Republic a few years ago uncovered a bunch of tapes of his old interviews in a file cabinet and listened to him. And there was one where, he's talking to a source and the guy's like, "Hey, you seem like you're spooked. I saw you out on the street looking under your car." He's like, "Oh, I do that pretty regularly because I know who I'm going up against."
Wow.
And he even joked that if something happened, it would be a bomb. But he also seemed like he did feel like, hey, they're not, he told a source, like, they wouldn't dare, like, they wouldn't actually do this.
Almost like self-prophecy.
Yeah.
The whole thing is wild. I've been to the Clarendon Hotel, and in the lobby they have some of those photos, and they kind of tell the story of what happened. So you can still go see that to this day. I think I haven't been to Clarendon in a long time.
Yeah, I know. Last time I looked back there, it was still there. I'm not sure. I know the bust is still in the lobby. There's a bust that I believe the former publisher of the New Times
because the
put in
Clarendon
there.
really hasn't changed a whole lot. They kind of kept the structure the same way.
Yeah. The front door I think that Bolles went into was where the restaurant is now. So if you look at like the videos there, like you can see like the front entrance.
That video footage is really
but that
else.
Side entrance in the parking lot, that's where he walked out to go back to his car.
We have a minute left.
How do folks get your book? How do folks get more information about this?
The book is sold pretty much Amazon or any online bookseller for the most part. You can order it online. Murder in the Fourth Estate: The Assassination of Investigative Journalist Don Bolles.
Cool.
Available anywhere online, and and
that's what it looks like right there. Well,
awesome.
Jeremy, thank you so much for coming in. What an incredible piece of history that you have dug into and now put in a book form for all of us to enjoy. So there's the book. If you want to go out and get it, as he just said, it's available at major booksellers across the country.
We'll be right back. If you were out in the world dating right now, would you be on one of those apps, or would you be more apt to meet someone out in person in real life?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I like to meet people IRL.
Yeah.
In real life.
I would say maybe like the gym would be a good place to meet someone, because you know that they have at least goals similar to yours.
And they're fit. Who knows?
Hey.
So Kat, our dating specialist, is joining us again. One of our favorite guests. Kat, good to see you.
Oh my gosh, you guys are one of my favorite people too. It's good to see
Let's
you guys
talk about those dating apps. We started out with I was going to say Kinder, but it's Tinder.
Yes. Yeah.
Not Kindle. That's a book reading app.
That's a book reading app. That's a different one. You're not going to find no love on that app.
No. Well, you might love, yeah. What else is out there, though, nowadays?
So, apps have been around actually since the late 90s. But when we talk about apps, we just mean online dating platforms, right? So they started off with websites, which Tinder actually, probably in the early 2010s, somewhere around there, Tinder was actually the first app in which you did the swipe right and swipe left. So since Tinder, there are so many apps that are out there. There are apps for single parents. There are apps for people that are looking for people in certain lifestyles. There are apps that people that are dog lovers, cat lovers, and everything in between. So many to pick from.
So I guess you kind of have to do your own research to figure out where you might best find a match.
Absolutely. And here's my suggestion is that you want to be on a platform that's going to give you the most exposure to the most amount of people. Because if you're going to niche down and be on an app that's just for vegetarians, let's just say, you are taking a large pool of people and really narrowing it down to a very small pool. So your results are going to be very different versus being on a platform that a lot of people know, that allows you the opportunity to filter people out based off of your preferences.
How do you know people are lying on those apps, though? I mean, the photo might be fake.
Yes.
All those catfishes we hear about, right?
Right.
The information might be fake.
So the apps, they're trying to do a better job of verification. Just recently, I learned that Bumble just came out with a feature in which you are supposed to upload your ID in order to verify
That would worry me, though.
who you are. I mean, to some people, yeah. I mean, it could be a security reason to not do that, but it also, on the flip side of that, do you want to make sure that the person on the other side that you're talking to is legit? So so I think a lot of platforms are trying to do as much as they can to make sure that they're not being catfished, but part of it is that if you're looking at a profile and you're like, something's off, trust your gut.
Yeah.
Now, are people on multiple platforms at the same time?
They
is
are.
That,
Does that mean
upon?
Yeah, and does that mean they're dating multiple people at the same time?
Well, probably. I mean, yes. If you think about dating in general, my suggestion, based on who you are, it's okay to, that's what dating is getting to know people. It's until you get to the point where it's doing a deeper dive, where you're like, okay, we need to have a conversation. Where is this going? And making sure that you have an honest conversation so that if you're going to be exclusive, you're going to be exclusive. But I suggest two different platforms, because you're going to get different types of people on both of those platforms. Well, both of those platforms. Is it going to be a little bit of overlap? Absolutely. But it gives you, again, more chances.
Is it kind of like shopping too? You figure out what is best suiting.
It's just like shopping.
No,
it's a great analogy.
They do call it relation shopping. It is a thing.
It's actually a great analogy.
What I'm trying to ask is like, is there one that you're going to be like, well, I feel like I'm getting a better sense of who I would more align with at a certain app, and then maybe you'll drop the others or something like that?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, when I start working with clients, we put them on two apps, and just for exactly that reason. They're going to find they're going to have more momentum on the other, and then they will drop that other one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you this. So you're on the apps.
Yes.
Maybe you're talking to a few people on those apps.
Right.
How do you know when it's time to meet that person IRL?
As soon as possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
ASAP.
That's right. Yes.
We like those acronyms around here.
We do. Within enough time, I usually say about 2 to 3 days tops. So back and forth enough of exchange where you're getting a good feel for that person, and then just set up something casual. No elaborate dinners.
Okay.
None of that. Just a quick coffee or a drink after work. Something that's very casual so it doesn't create a lot of pressure. And just make sure, I always tell people, make sure that the date doesn't go any longer than 2 hours.
We had a story that we ran several weeks back. Do you remember? We were talking about how fast food is okay for a certain generation. conversation as a first date.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's okay to go to McDonald's to pick up a cheeseburger and that's your date?
There's something romantic about that. The new currency now is what people are looking for is authenticity, effort, and consistency. Whether it's McDonald's, whether it's Starbucks, whether it's a picnic in the park, anything in between, that's what people are really looking for. So you can still be consistent and put in the effort. You could go to McDonald's and maybe do something creative where, doing something with the burgers and creating a tower. I don't know, something fun.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But maybe you guys just really like McDonald's.
Or you those Oreo McFlurries? Come on,
hey,
Kat.
I know.
Caramel sundae. I'm all about the caramel sundae.
Right.
Give me an Oreo McFlurry.
We have our next guest is a health and fitness expert watching us saying no McFlurries.
I know.
No McFlurries.
I was talking to her behind, guys.
Caramel sundaes.
That's right.
How do people get in touch with you to get a little bit more information, maybe get started on this journey? Because it's difficult.
Yes. So you can go to my website, scottsdalematchmaker.com, or you can just follow my TikTok at Cat Cantrill. I give all kinds of dating advice there.
Thank you.
It's great to see you. We love when you
Good to
come
see
in.
you guys
Good
too.
advice.
Yeah.
We'll have you back in a couple weeks.
Thanks so much, guys.
Continue this dating, 101. That's people sometimes
I'm
need
glad I'm not
coaching.
dating.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's move on. We were just talking about our next guest is waiting in the wings. We have Laura here from Burn It, Build It Fitness. And
I think this is interesting. She wants to talk about the difference between muscle strength.
Well, I wrote that, and I need to have her clarify because I talked to Laura yesterday, and I was like, what are we talking about again? But we're talking about when strength.
Yes.
There's different types of strength and being strong and being fit. There's the definitions. We're going to work on that.
Yes. So
I didn't explain that very well, Laura.
That's okay.
That's why Laura's here.
The amazing thing about health and fitness right now is there's so many different avenues of working out, right? So first off, anything that motivates you to get off the couch,
move.
I'm going to be in favor of. Please move, right? It could be as walking around the street. It could be walking to a mailbox. It could be lifting heavy weight. Maybe you're the ultimate power lifter. Maybe you want to be a sumo wrestler or a marathon runner. Whatever gets you off the couch,
That's what
I'm in
Ty is
favor
aspiring
of.
for. Sumo wrestling. Yeah.
Love
In the
that.
diaper.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a lot of the push now is you have to be strong. You have to activate your muscle.
So many people are talking about
That's
that.
the biggest thing because it helps you age. I mean, muscle is your insurance policy as you age. It is longevity. If you want to maintain your independence, you have to have strength.
I
You have to
literally
have
was
muscle.
talking to my husband about this. He has a very physical job where he's constantly moving. And I said, but you need to get back to lifting because that is what is building up the reps, the repetitions.
And working all the muscles he doesn't work on a daily basis.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we get a lot of construction workers and they're like, I'm busy. I'm active. And I'm like, yeah, but you only work one group of muscles. We got to work more than that.
Yeah.
You know, and so then people are like, well, you know, they just because they lift weights doesn't mean that you're strength training, doesn't mean that you're improving your muscle.
So break that down.
Yeah.
How then do we make sure that we are building muscle and we're not just, because I was asking you the other day, I was like, well, I can take these 25s and curl these for like 30 reps until I finally give out. But you said that that's not really
That's not building strength, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's muscular endurance.
Okay.
And so, like, I mean, and my goal is never to throw anybody under the bus. Like, that's
You
not
can
how it
throw me
is.
under the bus, it's
but
fine.
not you. I have no speed bump
You can
over
throw
you.
me under the bus.
But
I'm
it's like
afraid of
that's
you.
where like Pilates, F45, Orange Theory. Just because you use weights doesn't mean you're actually strength training.
Okay, so how do
right?
you strength train that?
You have to place a demand on the body, which means you have to lift heavier weights depending on what part you're using. Maybe in some avenues of like the Pilates or yoga or, Orange Theory F45, you are doing some strength training because you're doing smaller muscle groups. But when it comes to like your legs, if you can go upstairs, that means you can do a step up with your body weight. So if you're holding 10 pounds, that's not putting stress on your body, right? You got to challenge your body. So if you can do 20, 30, 40 reps, you're not strength training. You have to lift heavier and you need to rest. You have to give the muscle time to recover. So therefore it has to build and improve.
Most women, I would say, want to remain, I don't like feminine looking, but like that's why you do the Pilates because it gives you the longer, leaner body. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't. Okay. And so it's like, how do you know, like, my legs will bulk up quickly. I just have, I don't know.
Yeah.
What these
So it's
muscles
like,
are.
what's your definition of bulk?
Right. Exactly.
Right?
And
Because-
it's like, how do
Because
you...
men and women are built the exact same. What's different is the hormones. That's what allows you to build the size of muscle quickly. So some women, just genetically, they're going to be able to build a little bit more muscle. But doing Pilates doesn't necessarily make them lean and long.
Oh,
right?
okay.
You could do the same thing in any venue. That's just your genetics, is to keep them lean and long, right? So bulking could just mean that they're full of blood and nutrients and whatnot, so you can actually see them and you get that tone defined look, right? So it's like, I mean, marathoners, they don't want the muscle, right? So they run because their goal is to be as light as possible, to run as possible, to run as fast as possible. Yeah. Whereas someone that's doing more sport oriented, they may need some muscle to help stabilize and whatnot. So a lot of it goes into what you do on a daily basis. The 45 minutes that you spend in the gym isn't going to determine your entire genetic makeup.
So we've got about a minute and a half, but how do folks even start then?
Yeah.
If they want to start building that muscle and making sure that they are strong.
Yeah. A lot of it is just start to activate. Again, you're looking for anywhere between 8 to 12 reps.
Okay.
If you can do more than 15, you got to go heavier.
So then so that's what I mean. You've got to start heavy and able to do 8 to 10. And if you're struggling at the end, thumbs up. You're doing good.
If you're doing 4 sets of, or 3 sets of 8 to 10 and you can't finish the 10, you're right where you need to be right now.
Or if you
now,
can't
your
walk
body's,
the next day.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're going to feel it. And then the biggest thing is in 2 weeks, you have to go heavier now. Right? Because what that weight did was your body adapted, and now you have to challenge it again.
I see people in the gym sometimes with like a little notebook or something. Yeah. And that's kind of their keeping track of their
that's
progress.
a way for them to see how they're doing and whatnot. So.
But if you're increasing every 2 weeks, I mean, at some point, you stop increasing, or
there's lots of ways to do it.
Okay.
And soon I'm going to be like lifting this
I know.
Right? You'll be like pinky throw. Yeah, no, this is where it's like the beauty of Burn-Ability is we take all that out of your hand. Like we help you through all of it. So whether you're counting repetitions, whether you're counting weight, you don't always have to jump 20, 30 pounds, but there comes a point where your body starts to increment by maybe 2 pounds or 5 pounds, right? And maybe you increase the rep count before you increase the weight.
How do people find you?
Burn It, Build It Fitness. You look us up. We got 2 locations in Avondale and on 7th Street in Midtown.
Cool. Thank you.
Show us your muscles.
Let's see your guns. Look at that.
Here they come. Look
Long, lean Pilates guns. I love it. I love it.
Oh, look out, everyone.
I'm lifting.
Ty, I'm just saying. Your work's cut out for you.
I know, right?
Well, there it is. The site of the biggest party in town, Des, in just a few more hours. So, we're 4.5 hours away from them opening the gates, and we can celebrate whoever the Cardinals are going to choose as their number one draft pick. And by the way, you were out there today, and it looked like it was really going to be great.
Yeah, it was fun. So that party will start at 4. They'll open the parking lots and gates sooner, 3:30. But yeah, it's exciting. The draft party on the Great Lawn there.
Hey, let's both do this. This way. Let's both slide this way, like 6 inches. There you go. Right. So you can see us a little bit better.
But yes. And they have the kids zone. And some of the interactive games and stations have changed from year to year.
Okay.
So if you went last year, it won't necessarily be all of the same activities.
Right.
And there's a custom hat bar. There's the team shop. So, tickets are free. You just have to download them before you go.
Great.
You get 4.
Yeah. So we had Richard on last hour, and we were all kind of making our predictions. And I say the Cardinals are going to trade down in the draft. With that number 3 pick, that will be very valuable for somebody else who thinks they're just one player away, whereas we're probably like 5 or 6 or 7 players away.
We'll have to see. I mean, we need a QB, though.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If they trade all the way down at the bottom, I think if they traded to like 25 to 32, they could pick up this Bama quarterback who I think is pretty promising, a guy named Ty Simpson.
Oh, okay.
So maybe.
I trust you. I don't know Ty. I don't know anything about Ty, but
yeah, the first time
Ty Brennan?
Yeah, no, the other Ty Simpson. See, Is this town big enough for 2 ties?
I don't know. They might have to fight over it.
All right, we have a really fun show, but we're going to get to you some of the big headlines this morning because our big story, or one of our big stories yesterday, was this car that looked like it was burned to a crisp out on the freeway, and boy, has it taken a way more kind of sinister turn. Listen to this. So there was, when they towed that vehicle away, they did discover there was a body inside that car that had been all burned up. And DPS says Tanasaw Chambers was standing outside the car when the troopers got there waiting, and that it was on the 101 about Union Hills and Glendale, but inside was somebody shot dead, and the gun was found in the car. And so it wasn't just like a car wreck, that we've seen those a lot, where it's like a fender bender or 2-car crash, but it was just this one car and it was all burned up.
And I think initially when we were hearing some of these reports coming into the newsroom yesterday, obviously we've covered how many, road rage cases as well. So, you were kind of wondering, is it related to that? But to find out that this was the driver of the vehicle that shot the passenger, did this intentionally, then gets out and lights that car on fire and stood there in the highway to watch it. Just wild.
Yeah. That was the part I was a little confused about. I'm like, okay, so stood there to watch it, but, now the arrest has been made, but you would think, I don't know the way people's minds work, but you would think you would be skedaddling out of that area as fast as you possibly could.
Yeah,
so
but then
knows?
To hear that she didn't make her initial court appearance because she's being watch for self-harm right now, that may, explain a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, on a lighter note, one of the things that we keep watching in the West Valley is a new gas station is coming. Now, normally we would not blow that out as a big news story. New gas station.
No, but this isn't your typical gas station.
It sure isn't, Des. It's Buc-ee's, and they are really making progress out there in terms of getting this. Look at that. I mean, it's I think almost to the day, 2 months away, 8 weeks away before Buc-ee's opens out there in the West Valley. The opening date is June 22nd. But now you got an opportunity to work there, which I think would be super fun.
I think so too.
Yeah.
If you've never been to a Buc-ee's, just buckle your seatbelt and wait. It's an experience. I think it would be fun. There's different places you can work in too. They always have like their own coffee shop. They've got the meat shop because they do incredible food.
Yes.
And then you've got your convenience store item area.
Bathrooms with art on the wall. You can go in, fall in love with the painting, and by the time you're done with your business, you walk out and buy the painting.
Exactly. And cleanest bathrooms in America.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what you need to know. The hiring event is May 5th, 6th, and 7th, and it's going to be close by at the Desert Diamond Arena. And you can get more details at fox10phoenix.com under Seen on TV. Okay, we are about a minute away from the zoo popping in. We love when we get a chance to spend some time with our friends at the Phoenix Zoo.
Yes.
But before we do, we're just going to roll our poll question for you. And here we go. $500 million bailout to save Spirit Airlines. This is kind of a lopsided poll. I thought, Des, like in a lot of polls, that it would be maybe a little closer, but only 1% are looking at it and saying, well, the thing is, if you lose a low-cost airline, especially on certain routes, that just means the other airlines are going to be able to raise their prices more if they don't have the competition. So only 1% agree with that. 70% say, look, they can't make it on their own. They shouldn't be in business. And then almost 30% are saying it depends really on how they set it up. If it's a bridge loan, because you're at 14,000 people that'll be losing their jobs. If it's a bridge loan that they someday have to pay back, then that's a different situation. And I guess we're seeing some pretty good action on YouTube, too.
Yeah, the numbers always shift here. 1,000 votes, 5% say yes, losing an airline will mean the rest will raise prices. 72% are saying no. That is the majority here on both polls. And then 24% saying only if the loan is something that they can pay back someday.
What are you seeing, Bella, for reactions?
I'm so sorry. If you want to come back to me in 2 seconds, I am setting up a Trump stream that we're going to be doing at noon.
We've got a great guest in studio.
Yeah,
we'll let you take through some of those.
See, that's the thing. We can't see Bella. We just know she's over there. She's like,
there's all these monitors.
Literally doing three people's jobs today.
Yeah, she's soloed
amazing
today. Dave, Abby are off, but Bella's doing great.
Here is, look, we have an extra visitor.
We do. Thanks for joining us, Joaquin.
Thanks for having us.
You guys are busy this weekend.
Very busy. I haven't slept. In fact, Yorgie's going to take the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. She doesn't talk too well.
What's her name?
Her name is Yorgie.
Yorgie?
She is a funky-looking lizard. She's a prehensile-tailed skink. I thought she was going to be invisible the moment I saw the screen back here because, it's a little green and she's green, and I thought she was going to disappear. But no, there she is, being as gorgeous as ever.
Oh, can she change her color?
She cannot change her color at all. However, she just looks like a Muppet. I look at her, and that looks like something Jim Henson would have made right there.
Ooh, look at those eyes.
She's very interesting.
Yeah, she's like more opening those eyes.
Skinks, don't they have a blue tongue?
So there is a blue-tongued skink. That is a different type of skink. We have one of those too. Her name is Boomer. I just don't like bringing her because she likes to go to the bathroom on my arms every single time.
Oh, naughty girl.
So instead I take little Yorgs here. They're called prehensile-tailed skinks though because they have this long tail that they'll use to grab onto things. And they also earn the name monkey skink because of that.
Oh, yeah, we can see her really well in this camera here.
Oh, there she is.
And she's about how long?
So she's a little bit around 20 years old. She was born in 2007. So she's an older lady now because they typically live around 15 years. So she's been doing fantastic with us at the zoo, being spoiled. And we see that pretty often with animals that are, under managed care. They live a lot longer than they would in the wild.
Yeah. Well, Earth Day was yesterday, but you guys are celebrating at the zoo this weekend. You've got a weekend of events lined up. You've got something going on Saturday and Sunday. So break down what's happening Saturday.
Saturday is our Earth Day celebration. So kids get to learn all about conservation and what they can do to be a bit more earth friendly at home.
Okay.
We have this guy there. His name is Dr. T-Rex. You think he's all about dinosaurs, but he's actually like a scientific magician. And he's out there doing like pyrotechnics for the kids and teaching them all these fun crafts. I love to see it. And of course, an earthworm release. Kids get to play with earthworms that day and get to learn the importance of earthworms. Now on Sundays.
Great. And with the ticket to the zoo, do they have to pay for any of those additional
No other additional fees for those activities. That is all included with admission.
Okay.
If you're a member, you just get to go.
Yeah. And then Sunday, what do you guys got lined up?
So Sunday is a bit more of a fiesta. That is Dia del Niño. So we get to do a lot of Hispanic themed events and dances. We have like live music, dancing. There's going to be arts and crafts. I love it because you get to do a lot of things in Spanish. So I get to flex my bilingualness that day by presenting animals like Yorgie here, but I get to do it in Spanish.
Oh,
so
say something a little
instead of saying Yorgie, I would go Yorgie.
Now, why is Yorgie so mellow? Or is that just, is this the way they all are?
She's an ambassador animal. So animals like her, we work with her so long that they're so used to things like this that this is kind of like normal for them. They're not in a stressful environment. Yorgie likes to be elevated like this too because she just feels like she's up on a tree. Also, I'm wearing these gloves not because they're stylish, but because her claws can grip onto those branches really, really strong. And I don't want her to treat my arms like those branches. Otherwise, she'll shred me to ribbons.
Right. Yeah, look at, I mean, so what's their eyesight like?
Her in particular, she doesn't have pretty good eyesight anymore, being an older lady. So what's funny with her is that whenever we go to pick her up, we have to like touch her and let her know we're there first. And we're like, all right, Yorgi. That way we don't just, so we don't just scare her, you know, because she doesn't know what's going on. So we got to let her know, hey, we're here. And then she knows that she's about to get picked up.
Well, and I noticed too, the eye that we're seeing on camera, she was closing that, but the other was open. And then I noticed earlier, the other was closed, but the other one was open.
She's keeping an eye on us. That's pretty much it, right? She's like, am I chill to relax? No, I'll keep another one open
I was
there.
thinking she was taking a nap with us. But
she might. She definitely could, which is why I love taking animals. I love taking naps in my arms because I don't have to worry about them doing anything, you know?
Yeah. So it's really cool that you guys have these different interactive experiences at the zoo for kids to kind of explore different things.
You know, it's fun because when you're little, you go to the zoo and you want to see the animals, and obviously, as you should, they're the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
But it's also cool for them to be able to take something home with them and kind of understand that their small impacts can make a big difference for the planet that we share with animals like Yorgi here.
As for people who haven't been out to the zoo in a couple of years, tell them what they'll see that's also new there, or maybe is on the books that's coming.
You're going to make me talk about big cats, aren't you? Because that's all I like to talk about is big cats. Yorgi, cover your ears. I love cats more than anything in the world. And we have new big cat habitats out there for jaguars and mountain lions. And then if you haven't been there in a couple of years, we have a brand new like African lion habitat out there with a new big boy that just got here from Chicago. I love that boy more than anything. He's super cool. And I mean, the girls are amazing too, but he's the new shiny toy.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is so great.
And then the last time I saw you, we were feeding giraffes at the zoo.
Oh, that was fun.
And I didn't realize you could do that at the Phoenix Zoo. You can go ahead and feed them right out of your
And you can do that pretty much any day, so long as the giraffe wants to, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's Earth Day, Dia del Niño, a Monday, a Wednesday, they'll come up and do that.
Okay, perfect. And those experiences are happening all day, both days?
So for the events, the event kind of type experiences are going to be happening from 9 to 1 p.m. both days, but the zoo will be open till 5. And of course, the giraffe feeds that we were just talking about, those have scheduled feeding times on the website.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Thank
Time
you so
for a
much.
break. Here's the Mystery Cam. See you again. Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's more of FTT, and we have a super cool photo, live image. I think we both know, in fact, all three of us know where it is. We got Zach Pope joining us in a minute. But give us your guesses. Tell us where you think this mystery cam is if you couldn't already. There's something about that building to the left. I'll just say this. When we were on a family trip and we're driving through there, and we went to a Major League Baseball game, and it's right across the river. And my son, at the time, he insisted, Dad, there's something evil about that building.
He didn't like it?
And now I can't get it out of my head that it looks like the building.
It looks a little like Gothic style-ish. Like on the top, at least.
Like
it is dark. Is it black?
Like some villain? No, it's, I believe it's called the PPG building. And so I was just driving through there last year. It's all mirrors.
Oh,
so
okay. I wondered, if it was that or glass. Yeah, so it's like mirrored.
If it was
That's
a
pretty cool.
sunnier day, it would look a little more blue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could see a villain flying right off the top of that building.
I could see Batman landing on top of there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, for the good guys too, right?
Oh yeah, because he was a good guy, but it is Batman-esque.
Yes,
B. Miguel is getting in a guess here of Kentucky.
Okay.
Outlaw Dynamo, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Do we want to go ahead and reveal?
Do we have our little sheet?
But
we don't.
We know what it is.
Okay, we already know where it is.
It is.
So.
If you do you trust us? Do you trust us without the sheet?
Oh, look. Oh, Bella just handed Des the sheet. Here's the answer.
It is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
There you go. Man, the home of the draft.
Yeah.
Which is going to be super fun to watch coming up at 5 o'clock.
I like that building.
Yeah. I could live in Pittsburgh tomorrow. It has one of the coolest downtowns you're ever going to find. And, of course, the football stadium and the baseball stadium are right there on the Ohio River. Mm-hmm. And they have so much history and just cool places to hang out downtown. It's a great city.
You know who has a cool downtown building, too, is Nashville. They have the Batman building.
Oh,
have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Did you ever go in it? What's in it?
No. I knew you were going to ask. I don't even know what's in it because it was just the Batman building. I think it was just like offices or, it wasn't anything it wasn't a destination necessarily go inside.
Well, with all this talk about Batman, we got Zach Pope here, movie reviewer. What's the best of all the Batman movies?
You know what's funny? I loved Robert Pattinson's Batman movie that he did. It blew my mind. I grew up reading the comics. I grew up with the animated series, and that movie was everything to me. I rewatch it at least every few months, and I know everyone's probably going to say, like, well, what about The Dark Knight? What about Michael Keaton's Batmans? But I don't know what it is about that movie. That movie just hit every layer for me. I cannot wait for the sequel. It's already been like 5 years since the movie came out, and I don't think the sequel comes out till like 2028. But you know what? I'm going to let the director take his time because the guy just keeps making great movies, and if he's going to make another great Batman movie, I'm all here for it. So
if you're saying you've watched it every 3 months, you've watched it like what?
Oh, tons of times. 20
times?
Yeah. There's a lot of movies that like I have on that like that rewatchable doc. There's some films that I've seen in theaters like over 20 times too. So like I like before I had a kid, I would just go to the movie theaters just for fun, especially if I loved a movie. If I knew someone who hadn't seen the film, I'm like, let's go see it. Like I would make them go see the movie.
So you would not mind watching the same movie over.
Yeah. I love rewatching movies and just seeing like new little tidbits to it. It's always something fun for that.
Well,
so
I've seen Braveheart twice and Top Gun 2 twice.
Those are both great movies. So
like your favorite movie.
I love it. Top Gun Maverick. Oh, I love it. They just announced the third movie. They're gonna be doing a third one, and Tom Cruise is coming back. They didn't give a release date, but I'd probably imagine like 2028, 2029, knowing how long it takes them to do all that stuff. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
This guy, I'm telling you, Des, he is a walking encyclopedia of everything going on in Hollywood.
I know.
Pulls these facts right out of his head.
And I was going to say, too, I'm like, how do you even have time to watch movies over again when you're reviewing so much?
It's tough. Like, sometimes it's something I can just, like, throw on and, like, have there, but then obviously I probably get distracted, like, if I throw it on in the background just for fun. Like, it's like I'll throw something on that I've seen before, and then, like, 20 minutes in, I stop doing what exactly I'm supposed to be doing. Like, yeah. And then I'm just, like, already, like, sitting down watching a movie again. I'm like, God, I love this movie so much. So, yeah. I mean, you asked me about movies. I just love them. The only thing I'm really bad at is movie quotes. I'm really bad at movie quotes. Like, if someone tells me a movie quote, I probably won't be able to.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, my wife quotes so many movies all the time, and then she'll be like, you don't know what that's from. I'm like, no, not really. And then she'll tell me, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay,
if I were to say something like, Luke, I am your father, you would have no idea.
That one I definitely know. That one I definitely know. That one I definitely know. But and it's a great quote for sure.
Or maybe maybe because you've seen so much, you kind of get confused as to
exactly,
like, which movie it actually came from.
Like that's my biggest thing. Like my wife quotes Grease religiously, and I couldn't quote anything to you about it. I love the movie, but I couldn't quote anything to you about it. And she'll say the same quotes all the time. She'll be like, "What's that from?" I'll be like, "I probably should say Grease." But maybe it's not this time. And she goes, no, it's Grease.
Okay, now I have to take back what I said, because there was a movie theater in Seattle when that movie first came out, and I'm dating the woman who will become my wife now for almost 45 years, and we went twice.
Wow.
At the Cinerama, which is one of those old-timey, like the old Harkins Cine Capri at 24th Street in Camelback.
Yeah.
Go to movies there?
Yeah, I have. I actually really like that theater.
No,
I like
the original one.
Oh, the original.
No. 24th Street in Camelback.
Oh, no, then I didn't.
Standalone movie theater with a kind of a curve. They would open up the curtain. And it would take like a minute. It was such a large screen.
Really?
It was so...
I miss movie theaters like that. I miss movie theaters going like that. Like anytime I've traveled and there's been like a small town, I usually like trying to see what movie theaters they have, because it's always cool to have like that different aesthetic than what we typically have, where you get to reserve your seat ahead of time and like sit in a lounge. And don't get me wrong, they're nice to sit in, but like I kind of miss some of the older stuff too, or like you have to get early to the movie theater to pick out your seats. I remember that. I remember sitting like when Star Wars came back in the theaters for Force Awakens, I got to the theater like 6 hours early to get a great seat. And that because they didn't have the seat picks yet. And it was a great experience because there's a ton of people there, and like I made a ton of friends that day. It was really interesting and fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the movie everybody's going to be talking about this weekend, the Michael Jackson biopic.
Yes, I just saw this actually last night. I actually missed the early screener on Monday, so I paid to go see it last night. And I was a little shocked by some of the earlier reviews for it, because it had like, I think when it first premiered on Rotten Tomatoes, it was like 14%, which is like really bad. And now it's up to like a 36. Still a little shocked by that. I enjoyed the movie. I think it's fun. I think for me what this is it's more of a celebration of his musical career and the good aspects of him. It also only goes up to 1988, so it doesn't really detail a lot of the later stuff, which if I were to guess, this movie's going to make a lot of money, and the way that the movie ends, it seems like they're probably going to make a sequel, which will probably dissect more of that. But the reason to see this movie is because of Jafar Jackson. He is the nephew to Michael Jackson. He plays Michael Jackson in here, and I had to remind myself that was not Michael Jackson. Like, he completely embodied him. Like, I was blown away. We've seen tons of musical biopics where an actor really becomes the person, but sometimes you can see through it and be like, oh, that's Timothée Chalamet, that's Jeremy Allen White, or whoever. But this one, I literally, like, multiple sequences was like, they revived Michael Jackson. There's no way that's not him. They didn't bring him back to life, because it truly is impeccable what he was able to do in that role. It blew me away. It's the reason I would recommend seeing this movie.
And Michael obviously in his personal life was pretty, did some very questionable, controversial things. But it doesn't really dive into that.
No, which I think maybe why some of the reviews are a little bit lacking. Like, people aren't like into it. But like every time I watched the trailers, I never got the gist that that's what they were going for. They were going for a celebration. And I appreciate what they went for. Wish they touched on certain things, or at least dove a little bit harder into that. But I think maybe that's where the sequel would go. And I actually really hope that's where it goes, because now they've centered us on who he is. Let's go into the the darker and more deeper stuff too, specifically. Exactly. And we'll see if they happen to do that. But I was impressed by it, to say the least. Like, I thought it was really shot well. And again, I can't believe how great of a performance.
Or favorite song?
For me, it's Just Beat It, especially the whole sequence of how they show how he came up with the song. It's one of the best sequences in the whole movie, because it's showing how he's kind of has writer's block and how he's coming up with the scenario. It's kind of like this nice montage, and the way that it formulates to that dance sequence, really wonderful. And then they even show a little bit of the behind the scenes of how they made Thriller, which was really cool too. So I was really impressed with this one.
So is it when you have this is so unusual, have a family member starring as the other family member,
exactly,
the real actual superstar. Did he have a broad acting background?
No.
How is he nailing it so well?
So that's what really surprised me, because when they announced that he was taking on the role, I honestly kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, really? That's such a safe pick. I would have rather seen someone who's never been in the limelight of anything take on a role like this. And going into it, like, yeah, they can make him look like him. Obviously, prosthetics, makeup, everything like that. But the fact that, like, he's never had an acting background and he could really nail everything, like the dancing, I know the singing, I think he lip-synced a lot of it, but like the movement, the caricatures of like just what Michael Jackson would do, like just it really felt like you were watching the voice, especially
he can hit those high notes and everything.
Yeah, like, and even like the way he talks, like it sounds just like Michael Jackson. Like it blows me away. Like he should act more, in my opinion. Like, I would love to see what he does next. Exactly. Like, it would be very interesting to see what he does next.
And so, I don't know if you're in the prediction business. Do you go back in time and you're like, okay, Rotten Tomatoes, those are very good, not very good reviews. There have been more good reviews that have come out more recently.
Yes.
But if you had to guess, is this going to be a mega hit, one that we're going to be talking about for the rest of the year? I mean, like $100 million. It's a biopic.
Yeah. Like buying my ticket last night, the theater was completely booked. And people were very engaged with the movie, to say the least. The two people sitting next to me, I had no idea who they were. They were dancing, they were singing in their seat, like, and that was kind of fun to see, because like when I go to press screenings, people don't really do that. It's like, you know, we're all sitting there watching the movie and like trying to take it a little bit more professional, but like I kind of miss seeing that. And sometimes I miss going to like screenings with just general audience members, because then I get to see that experience with them. And maybe that's part of the reason why I enjoyed the movie a little more, is because of how engaged people were. So I think if I was a betting man, I think this movie's gonna make a lot of money. I would be shocked if it didn't hit at least $500 million worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be one of the bigger films of the year.
We're going to wrap up,
Really
but
cool.
that is.
And then you'll be on the show tomorrow.
Yes.
So going to tune in at in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Even
Thank you.
more stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Watching the best. Fox 10 News at noon.
Now at noon, Iran and the United States are accusing one another of piracy as the standoff over the Strait of Hormuz continues.
And the power's back on for thousands of APS customers in the high country after a first-of-its-kind outage. We'll hear from them.
And excitement is building for football fans. It's NFL Draft Day. Here is we will have a live look coming up at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale. The Cardinals will be hosting a big Draft Day party there later this afternoon.
So exciting. Thanks so much for tuning in, joining us for the news at noon. We will begin, however, with breaking news. A shooting investigation underway. This is near the stadium. What's the latest?
Well, right now I'll step out just so you can see what's going on in this construction site right behind me here through the chain link fence. We'll try to get you a good view as we can zoom in through here right now. What we can look at right now, we've got a couple of police officers standing around, a lot of cruisers here. They've got mobile commands set up. What you can't see from this angle that we were walking around earlier just in the last 30 minutes and got clear shots of is what appears to be a handgun on a ground. If you look at the, if we can turn the camera just to the left to that officer that is standing there there next to the bucket of an excavator right there. That officer is standing there because on the ground right next to them is where we saw that handgun on the ground just a little bit earlier. And then just to the left of that, we saw a lot of officers gathered just in the last 10 minutes. There was appeared to be a lot of evidence on the ground. We saw clothes there, water bottles, and the detectives were pointing around, looking at things all throughout this construction site here. Now, where we're located is interesting because we are right next to State Farm Stadium. The timing, of course, is right during the NFL Draft Day festivities that are going on there. So when this call came out at 91st Avenue and Cardinals Way, we didn't know whether or not this was associated with that or not, but this appears to be part of this construction site that's nearby. Now, we also have the Vi Resort construction that's going on the other side of this parking lot. But where we're at here, the construction is for this parking structure over here. So I'm not entirely clear yet. I've been reaching out trying to get answers on this, but what this parking structure is associated with, if it's associated with the Cardinals for game day parking, or if this is part of the Vi Resort parking structure here. Now, as far as what's taken place in this shooting investigation, we don't have any details yet on how many people involved, injuries, anything along those lines. We haven't gotten that yet from Glendale PD. We've, of course, reached out. What they've told us is that they are still working to gather information, and they've actually told us to come right here in this parking lot right next to this chain link fence because this is where they're going to give us an update here. And the next few minutes, we should be able to provide you with a lot more information, guys.
Okay, thanks, Steve. If we can, we'll check right back in. If not, Steve will have more information on later editions of Fox 10 News, and we'll have that online as well. In the meantime, we are talking about this NFL draft because that begins tonight at Cardinals Stadium. Cardinals fans won't have to wait very long for the team to make their selection, though. This is the exciting part.
Yeah, that's right, because they have the 3rd overall pick. Blake Neiman is in Pittsburgh, where the draft is taking place, and he has a look at what we can expect.
Yeah, guys, fans from across the nation are filing in here to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the 2026 NFL Draft, where top college prospects from across the country will see their NFL dreams come true tonight. One of those top prospects is from our own backyard, an Arizona State star, Jordan Tyson. The former Sun Devil standout is projected to be a top 10 pick in tonight's draft in the same city where his position coach, Hines Ward, spent all of his 14 NFL seasons with the Steelers. Ward sees the same long-term potential in Tyson and the success he could soon have at the next level.
Just the gratitude, for being able to take a kid, and when I first got here, you saw the talent, but just hone in and really give him the blueprints of what it takes to make it to the next level. The talent was always there with JT. It was just a matter of him not knowing how to get there. But he dove head in, really committed himself to the process, to me, and I told him, man, I can't want it as much as you want it. He said, that would never happen, Coach. So, but to come full circle, I told him it's God's plan. There's a reason he brought me here to ASU. It was a reason we crossed paths, and I got an opportunity to coach you for 2 years, and now that the draft is in Pittsburgh. It's like you can't write a better story than that.
Yeah, you really can't write a better story than that. Ward will be with Tyson in the green room when he gets the call tonight from his future team. And that team could very well be the New York Giants, who hold both the 5th and 10th overall picks in the draft, making for a possible reunion with his former Sun Devil teammate, Cam Scatterbo. Now that would be cool to see. Stay tuned for plenty more coverage of Tyson and the Arizona Cardinals first round selection throughout the night. But for now, reporting in Pittsburgh, Blake Neiman, Fox 10 Sports.
Look at that smile on his face.
I know, he's excited.
Yes.
That was some good info there.
So are we. And if you want to join in on the fun with the Cardinals at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, you can do exactly that.
Yeah, Desiree Fluellen has a preview of what fans can expect here at their draft party.
Hey, good afternoon, you guys. We are just a few hours away at this point from the party on the Great Lawn here with the Cardinals for the draft. Everyone that walks in today is going to get one of these flags, and you'll also get one of these cards to participate in a scavenger hunt. And if you finish, you're going to score a preseason ticket. Lacey, that is so exciting. So on top of all of the fun things that you have for folks today, they actually are going to walk away with some cool things too.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is one of our most exciting and fun events. There's anything that you could ever imagine for all ages between the kid zone, the different merchandise activations we have. Our partners will have some presence out here as well, as well as the first time we're doing the scavenger hunt. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. We're seeing some of those inflatables, but obviously you'll have, so much more when that party gets underway. The team shop here just behind us. So not only can we get this really awesome hat that you're holding, other swag, jerseys, shirts, whatnot.
Yeah, so at the team shop, we'll have our standard Cardinals gear, jerseys. You can also pre-order a jersey for who our draft pick will be, which is new this year.
Cool.
We've never done that.
Okay.
So excited about that. We will also have the hat bar that you can see here, that you can do a fully custom cowboy hat, any shape, color, material, different frills, brands.
Well, it's got to be Cardinals red today.
Of course, right? That's why we have that one.
Yeah, so for folks watching, if you do want to come out, you'll open gates at 3:30. The party starts at 4. What do they have to do to secure tickets?
Yep, so if you go to azcardinals.com/draft party, you can claim up to 4 tickets. They are all digital tickets. And those will be scanned once you come through the gate, and we will have our clear bag policy and prohibited items list in effect as well.
Okay, yeah, so definitely folks coming out need to keep that in mind as well. But otherwise, you guys, it's going to be a big party here on the Great Lawn. We'll send it back to you.
It's going to be so much fun, and it was nice this morning, but how's the weather looking for the party later today?
So Ashley is joining us in the Weather Center with an early check. We don't want temperatures too warm. We don't want them too cool. I mean, we want to score, right?
Absolutely. Something to celebrate. We're looking at a gorgeous day. If you're going to be heading out to the draft party out in State Farm Stadium, we have mostly sunny skies. How do low 80s sound out in Glendale? So there's a look at your forecast for the next couple of hours. If you're heading out there later on in the next couple of hours, we got beautiful conditions out there. Some nice, easy, breezy winds. Yeah, it's going to be a nice forecast overall. To plan out your day for today here in Phoenix, 87 degrees just about. We're pretty normal for today. 62 for tonight under mostly clear skies. We got a gorgeous day, and we do have some weekend changes. Those changes coming up.
Well, a ceasefire may still be in place, but Iran has attacked 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. I'm Doug Luzader in Washington. We'll have the latest on the conflict coming up.
Test. I like that. Yeah,
Welcome back. Iran and the United States are accusing one another of piracy as the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz continues.
So that comes as Iranian forces attacked 3 ships yesterday. Doug Luzader has more from Washington.
The White House points out that these were not American ships that were attacked, but this does show how tenuous this extended ceasefire has become. Iranian state media shows armed and masked men boarding a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, one of 3 vessels targeted by Iranian forces, and 2 of them were ultimately seized.
Iran has gone from having the most lethal navy in the Middle East to now acting like a bunch of pirates.
The White House appeared to brush aside the attacks, but this will further lock down the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran continuing to exert what pressure it can, regardless of a ceasefire agreement.
Let's be clear, they've been breaking the ceasefire since day one, and this really raises the question, who is in charge here?
And that question, who's in charge in Iran, may have scuttled scheduled talks earlier this week in Pakistan. At the Pentagon, meantime, another shakeup.
I want to thank the president for his vision.
After Navy Secretary John Phelan was shown the door.
Everything Trump did with this war has made things worse.
Political pressure is growing on the administration. And while the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports may be effective, this could be a waiting game.
Blockades take time. Yes, it's significant pressure, but it's pressure over time that is the most impactful. And right now, time works to Iran's advantage here.
And while the ceasefire has been extended, the White House says the blockade is strangling Iran's economy. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
We have a beautiful day ahead and a bit of a warm-up starting tomorrow. We're going to see how long that's going to last us. Coming up.
Fox 10 weather experts with Corey, Crystal, Erica, and Ashley all day on the station for the best country and all-time favorites. 102.5 KNIX.
One of the most respected pharmaceutical companies anywhere in the world, frankly, I know it very well, is Regeneron. And it's agreed to offer their prescription medications at heavily discounted, most favored nation prices. In other words, the numbers will come down at levels that nobody's ever seen before. The whole most favored nation thing that we've been able to do with Bobby and Maz and everybody behind me, Marty, has been incredible. It's the biggest price reduction in drugs in history. By itself, we should win the midterms, but it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. It doesn't work that way. People forget too quickly, but we'll have it's the biggest cut in drug prices in the history of our country by many percentage points. With this announcement, 17 of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, representing 80% of the branded drug market, have now agreed to sell their drugs to American patients at the lowest prices anywhere in the world. We're going to have the lowest prices in the world. This will result in the largest drop in prescription drug prices in the history of the United States.